Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Hi students, in this session we are going to talk about balanced diet. Before that, first let's understand what do we mean by the term diet. We know that every day we are eating some quantity of food, like in the breakfast we are eating lunch, we are eating dinner. So all of this, the food that we are eating in our day-to-day life is called as the diet, right? So what is diet? Diet is the food that we consume, right? So now when we say balanced diet, what do we mean by that? Right, so balanced, as the word indicates, is something which is in proper proportion, in proper quantity. So when we are talking about balanced diet, that means that all the nutrients that we are having should be present in there, right? We have seen that our body requires carbohydrate, protein, vitamins, minerals, roughage and water. So the food that we are eating or the diet that we are taking should have proper quantity of each of these depending on what is our requirement, right? So what is a balanced diet? A diet that contains all the essential nutrients in correct proportion required for our body is known as the balanced diet. Over here the key word is correct proportion, right? So whatever nutrient that we have should be in proper proportion. That means that energy giving food should be in some proportion, then vitamins and minerals should be there, and also protein should be there, right? So vitamin and minerals should be there. So for growth and maintenance of good health, our diet should have all nutrients that our body need in right quantities, right? So it is very important to understand that all the nutrients that we require should be present in right quantities. That means that we should not eat too much carbohydrate or too much of fat or too much of protein. This means that everything should be balanced, and that is why we call it as a balanced diet, right? Not too much and too little of anything, right? So not too much of fat or too little of fat, right? Both of these things should have a proper balance, that how much you should eat and what you should avoid or you should lessen in your diet. Then the diet should also contain a good amount of roughage and water. Not only the essential nutrients like your carbohydrate, protein and all, you should also have proper roughage in your diet. You should have optimum water. That means during the day you should drink optimum water so as to maintain your water balance so that your body does not get dehydrated. Now, when we are talking about balanced diet, there definitely must be some questions in your mind. First question would be that do all the people, that those who are there, are eating same kind of diet? Do they require all age groups require same kind of diet? No, we know that growing children need more of the protein. Like yourself, right? You are growing tall, you are growing stronger. So what is that you need? You need good amount of protein. What else do you need? You need good amount of vitamin and minerals so that you can be safe from the different diseases. Also, you need proper amount of carbohydrate so that you can have enough energy so that you can play and you can study, right? So in this way we see that different people have different needs. Also, if you think about it, different people are working, like for example, you are studying, you have to study, you have to play. Then your father and your mother needs to work in the office, right? They have to sit down in the office and work for long hours. Then there are other people, those who are working, they are on the, they are working on the field, on the construction, they are doing lot of muscle work, lot of physical work. So is the diet that we have, like for you, for your parents and for that labor, do you have different kinds of diet? Definitely, because again the requirement of that person is different, right? For you as a child who is studying, who is playing, need more of the food which will facilitate to provide you energy, to provide you growth. On the other hand, the diet that your parents have should be less in carbohydrate, should be less in fat, because there is not much physical work going on and we do not want these things to accumulate, right? Then if we talk about the person who is working in a construction site, that person needs lot of energy, right? So he or she can eat lot of food with carbohydrate rich food or fat rich food. Also they need there is a lot of wear and tear going on in their body. That is why they also need a lot of protein, right? So in this way, we see that depending on the age and depending on the type of work a person is doing, the diet differentiates, right? So balanced diet, which might be right for a small child, will not be appropriate for somebody else, right? So depending on the nutrient requirement, the balanced diet changes. That is why we say that any diet which contains all the nutrient in the right quantities. This is very important to understand, that the quantity should not be too much or the quantity should not be too less. All of this is very important to maintain a balanced diet. When you think about it, now when we were talking about the balanced diet and all the nutrients that we are having, what you can do is for 1 week prepare a chart as to what you are eating in the breakfast, what you are eating in the dinner, what you are eating in the lunch, and what you can do is, suppose let's say that you are making a table for example day 1, right? So what did you eat on the day 1? In the breakfast, say you ate bread, right? Or you ate sandwiches. So say on the breakfast you ate toast or you ate bread, right? Then in the lunch you ate fruits, as well as what else you ate? You ate say chapati, right? And you ate dal, right? Then in the dinner, what did you eat? You ate rice, you ate vegetables, right? And then again you ate dal with it, right? Now what you can do is, with this particular table you can see that okay, bread is usually made up of wheat flour, and the wheat is rich in what? It is rich in carbohydrate. So with the bread, say you had jam, so again you had what? Carbohydrate in the form of starch as well as sugar. Then over here you saw you ate fruits. So what is fruit rich in? It is rich in various vitamins, right? Then you ate chapati and dal. Then again you ate what? You ate carbohydrate. And with it, what else did you eat? You ate protein, right? Then again over here you ate rice, which is again rich in carbohydrate, vegetables which are rich in minerals, and what else? Minerals and your vitamins, right? Then again over here you ate dal, which is rich in protein. So such kind of chart can be made. You should do that and you will see that the diet that you are having is rich in these nutrients, and whether or not you are having a balanced diet, right? So when we talking about when we are talking about the different kinds of balanced diet, different kinds of nutrients. So Paheli has a question. Is Paheli wondering? What is her question? Let's listen to that. Let's read it. So Paheli wonders whether animal food also contains these different components, and do they also require balanced diet, right Paheli? This is the question, and it's a very intelligent question. So when you think about it, definitely animals are also living organisms, and different animals, as say for example your dog, a pet dog that you have, is again a animal which is very enthusiastic, which is very it runs around, plays with you. So definitely that animal also needs food which is rich in carbohydrate. Apart from that, a growing puppy, suppose you had a puppy, so what is it? It is a growing organism, it is a growing dog. So that puppy also needs lots of proteins and calcium to build its muscle and build its bone, right? So definitely the dogs or the different kinds of animals which are there in our environment, they also need all these kind of different nutrients, and definitely they need a balanced diet, right? So I hope the Paheli has received her answer, right? Now let's understand that we know, like if you made your chart, you must have seen that maximum things which were there. Let's go back to the chart once again, and we will see the vegetables that we are eating, the dal that we are eating, the rice and the chapati. Maximum of the things are cooked, right? Whereas fruits definitely are not cooked, but they are washed, right? So cooking is something which is very common. One of the advantages of cooking is that it makes the food tastier. It makes it easy for us to digest, right? But understand that there are certain problems associated, certain disadvantages which are associated with the cooking. So why is food cooked? First of all, it is cooked so that it is easy to eat and to digest. apart from that, if there are any kinds of germs, they are killed by the high temperature that is used during cooking, right? So this is one of the reasons why the cooking is done all over, right? So but understand that this cooking is definitely something which makes a food tastier. You must have seen, especially in the Indian cuisine, we see that there are different kinds of food materials, different spices which are used. Sometimes we fry the food a lot, right? So sometimes we fry the food a lot and we see that it becomes tastier, but whether or not it is, it is able to maintain the nutrient, that is the question. So cooking definitely has some advantages, but there are certain disadvantages. So we will have to study about those disadvantages, the problems of cooking, and then what we can do is that we can cook in a proper manner so that we don't suffer from any nutrient problem, right? So let's understand, so that we do not suffer from the problems which arise due to deficiency of a nutrient, right? So let's see what are the disadvantages of cooking. First of all, cooking invariably results in the loss of certain nutrients, right? So what happens, these high temperature causes the nutrients which are there in the food to get destroyed, right? So especially food like protein, gets destroyed on higher temperature, right? Also, we see that vitamin C is easily destroyed by heat during cooking. So usually the food, especially you see that the fruits which are there should not be cooked, any kind of fruit, because usually they contain, all the citrus food actually contain vitamin C. So vitamin C is easily destroyed by the heat that is produced during cooking. So this is one of the things. So proteins and vitamin C is getting destroyed if you're cooking. If they are cooked, suppose if the pulse is there and what you are doing is that you are cooking the pulse and throwing off the water, what will happen? You will lose all the protein which is present in that pulse, right? Then many of the useful proteins and considerate amount of mineral are lost if excess water is used and then it is thrown away. So if lot of water is used while cooking, say for example your mummy is cooking dal, right? And what happened, that there was, by mistake she put a lot of water in it, and then after cooking what she realizes, okay, it's a lot of that pulse has become a lot of watery. So what she will do, that she might throw away the water which is there, right? So that water which was thrown away actually contains lot of protein and it is rich, and whatever is remaining in the pot is now comparatively lower in the nutrient material, right? That is why it is very important that you use appropriate amount of water, and especially if you're cooking something in the water, say even the vegetables, even the pulses, it should not be thrown away, because what happens is when you're cooking in water, the minerals and the nutrients actually seep into the water, they go into the water and get dissolved there. Then repeated washing of rice and pulses may remove some of the vitamins and minerals present in them. So again and again, definitely washing is important, but you should not wash it too much, because like I said, the minerals and nutrients tend to seep into the water, and if you're washing them again and again, washing means that you are putting the rice and the pulse in the water, you are cleaning it and you're throwing away the water. So this, if you're doing again and again, what is happening, that you're losing onto the vitamins and minerals and proteins which are present in the food. Also, then what happens is that washing of vegetable and fruits also is dangerous, especially after peeling or cutting them, because that results in the loss of the nutrients, right? So again, once you've peeled, say for example that you are eating an apple and you have peeled it, you should not wash that apple after peeling. First of all, peels also contain a lot of nutrients, and peel is actually rich in roughage. So the peel is very, very important whenever it comes to the fruit. This is one of the things that needs to be kept in mind. So when you're washing the fruit, it is important that you should try and eat it along with the peel, and you should wash it thoroughly with the peel, not after removing the peel. So if you're removing the peel and then you're washing it, you're actually losing onto the minerals and vitamins that fruit has to offer you. So in this way, we see that what are the various disadvantages of cooking. But this does not mean that we will stop cooking. What we will do is that we will keep all these points in mind, and then we will cook our food so that we do not lose on to any kind of nutrients, right? Now, what happened to Bujo? Let's understand that. He thought that fats would be the best food to eat all the time. Why? Because we have already discussed that fats contain more amount of energy when you compare it with the carbohydrates. So what he did, he ate nothing but food rich in fat. So do you think what he did was right? Of course not. It is not correct to eat too much food which is rich in fat, right? Because what happens is this fat gets deposited in the body. Carbohydrate is the primary source, that is the first source of your energy. That is why it is important to eat carbohydrate and fat. Definitely fat is important, but solely a diet which is rich in fat will cause a disease called as obesity, right? This is something which you can see that poor Bujo is suffering from, right? So what is obesity? It is excessive weight gain because of high intake of fat rich food, right? So this is something which we need to avoid, right? Although fat definitely provides more energy, but it takes a lot of time to release that energy, whereas carbohydrate is the primary source because immediately it is able to provide energy to us, right? And fat gets stored, whereas carbohydrate is utilized properly, right? So this is why it is not advisable to eat a lot of fat rich diet. Now if you think about the balanced diet also, you will find that fat is considerably in the lower amount, right? It is not so much as compared to the carbohydrate or any other food nutrient, right? So in this way we see that how a fat rich food should be controlled because it causes the disease called as obesity.